Hey everyone, welcome back to the creative season. This is Melissa. We are going to be painting Paris, the Eiffel Tower with flowers today. So we talked about this last week when we were doing that really loose sketch of the Eiffel Tower, and I've been doing more loose sketches. This one's a super loose one. This was a cake. It got really watery. I was sketching with a gel pen and it went a little crazy on me. So today we're back with pencil, and one of the reasons I want to sketch with pencil today is because I want to make sure you can see that, is because some of this Eiffel Tower is going to end up getting covered by our beautiful flower garden, our flower market. So I am just going ahead here and sketch along with me the Eiffel Tower. I'm going to do a very, very loose sketch here, very loose sketch, and I want it in the background. So like I said, where some of this Eiffel Tower is going to end up getting covered by our flowers, because remember last week I said we're going to sketch the Eiffel Tower, but definitely we're getting back to our flowers, right? So one of the things I love, all the flower markets in Paris and the pictures, right, of flower markets in Paris. Okay, so there we have that, and we have this guy up here. Okay, so there is our Eiffel Tower. Okay, and if we wanted to, I could do, it's probably it is a little bit wider, so we can do the sketches just very light like this. Okay, now, what I really want to do is, now that we have that, let's go ahead and pretend that we are walking next to, and we're on the street, and we are looking out at all the gorgeous flower markets right here. Now, I'm just finishing up doing a pretty in-depth class of the beautiful, of doing a pretty large flower market with the Eiffel Tower behind. So this is more of almost like a warm-up. We're not going to try to be really, really precise. We won't be going back and doing a lot of detail, but just getting that feeling, that exuberance of the flower market. We're not going to put in the cafe in this particular one, but I'll put in the link for the class if you wanted to do something that's a little bit more in depth. It's going to take a little bit longer. It's so much fun to go to do a deep dive, right? Okay, so I have another one right here. I'm not going to sketch out the whole thing because we know we're going to be covering up with flowers. So we're going to do a lot of summer flowers today in these beautiful markets. So I'm going to do some sunflowers. I'm going to do a lot of lavender, I think. Let's go ahead by creating a sense of, the other one I was doing, I had blue skies. Let's do blue skies on this one too. It is, let's say 10 o'clock in the morning. So we have beautiful blue skies, and as you can see, I've just got lots of water on this brush, and I am going over everything, even around the Eiffel Tower. I'm not trying to be really neat about this. Make sure to go inside of that open part of the Eiffel Tower. We don't want to go too low because our flowers are going to be going up. I've made some lovely room for clouds, and I think too, since we're going to make this a nice sketch, we're going to go ahead and making sure you can see this. Let me back this up just a little bit. There we go, and let's then go on the ground too. Okay, so we have the blue on the ground. Again, we'll probably put some brown in here, but just for the sake of laying down those blocks of color. All right, so now, again, I'm not going to paint the Eiffel Tower quite yet. Let's get going with some of our green. So I want to we're going to let this dry up here for a minute because that is a bit wet. Maybe we'll make some sunflowers right here though. They would actually look pretty over here. I'm going to take my towel. We'll just blot this up a little bit. Just a little bit, so that can dry. I'm going to go ahead and I think actually I'm going to start laying down my lavender, and we're going to make the lavender coming up in this middle one. So I've got my purple here. I just washed my palette because it was getting to be somewhat of a hot mess. The colors were blending all over, and for the sake that this is a quick sketch, I'm not going to mix the purple. I'm going to use what I have on my palette. And I'm going to start making our beautiful lavender. Lavender, lavender, lavender. Now we may end up, if I was doing a lot of detail, we might tie them into bunches, but maybe we're just going to pretend that it is just fresh lavender. And it is here to be picked. Maybe this is a farmer that's come up from Provence. Don't you love looking? I've never been to Provence. I mean, you look at those beautiful fields of lavender, in calendars or on Pinterest or in magazines. And isn't it just, I mean, it's beautiful, right? You just want to walk through them. You just want to walk through them. I'm hoping one day to go to Provence. But until then, we are traveling with our imagination, which I love. See, I'm traveling to Paris this summer with my imagination and my palette, just relying on my past experiences, research, and dreaming. My grandfather always said he was an avid traveler, and planning is half the adventure. It's half the fun, and it's so true. And we can both plan when we paint and remember and celebrate so much of wonder. When we create, we're just reinforcing memories, creating memories, right? This is going to Paris without getting lost, which I just have a blog post that came out this week, and I talk about, oh my gosh, the misadventures in Paris, right? Because it's so easy to think about it's all wonderful, but my goodness, traveling where you don't know where you're going, it is an adventure, that's for sure, in all sorts of ways. Okay, now I will say, I'm going to erase that because really my perspective was a bit off. If I have this guy, we're going to think of he's a rounded basket like here. All right, and for this one over here, I am going to put in, let's pretend roses, rose type flowers. I'm actually not terribly good at painting roses, but we are going to, maybe they're more of like zinnias. We'll make them roses. The roses that are very, very open, lots of petals. And you can see now while we're sketching in pencil today, right? I have been enjoying sketching in pen, although I've returned to doing it solely in a micron pen. But with the pencil, we're gonna cover over the Eiffel Tower, parts of it. And that's just gonna add to the magic though of this beautiful, beautiful sketch. Okay, I'm just filling this up with all sorts of flowers, because that, I always think of what a flower market is, just full of flowers. We're going to let that dry before we add the green, because we know what happens when I add green to pink. It turns into brown, right? Now over here, we're going to have to do this kind of quickly too. I am going to make, there's my faces for my sunflowers. And these are going to be the really big sunflowers. So they've got really big faces. So we're just going to put the faces in here. You don't have to be really exact about it. Make sure there's an uneven number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's do one more right over here. Lovely. Okay, now let's do some more lavender, because this is a focus. We'll just pretend the focus is on the lavender here. So I've rinsed my brush. Okay, I'm going to put more lavender over here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lavender. I guess there's different types of lavender too, right? These might be a little bit long for stalks of lavender, but that's okay. It's our imagination. And we know that lavender has some very delicate leaves and stems, so I'll be adding in those next. And I think we're going to make this one over here, we'll make it some really happy yellow flowers. Maybe even some like Gerber daisies, not Gerber daisies, zinnias. So I'm going to let that layer of lavender go. I'm even going to grab a little bit of pink here just to lighten it up a bit. There, and even that adds a fun depth of color, right? And we're just moving around here. Very, very, very pretty. Okay, that's looking really, really lovely. Okay, and we're not quite 10 minutes in, so we're doing really good on our fun. Again, this is just a really loose sketch. I often will do these loose sketches as a warm-up for an idea too, or if I want to flesh out a new idea. Okay, so for this one, you know what? I will go ahead and erase the back of this since I used pencil, and we know the flowers are going to cover all that. Let's go ahead, and then I'm going to just start laying down my beautiful, happy flowers. If you want to, whatever little flowers you want to make. Another idea I was thinking is that we could do like herbs, right? Like basil. And if you want to even grab, so keep your flowers fairly wet, the yellow, And then you could even grab a little bit of that pink or the purple and just dab in some color. And this is going to add some really nice depth, right? Look at that. Super, super fun. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to grab more yellow. So I'm using cadmium yellow. If you can see my palette there, I'm using cadmium. You can't really. Let me back it off here just a little bit. A cadmium, lemon yellow is over here. Cadmium yellow light is over there in the corner. And I often will just mix the two. And I am just making these flowers, they are just spilling over because that is the kind of flowers they are. How we're going to bunch them together to sell, I don't know. But, okay, that's really fun. All right, let's grab some green. I have got, ooh, I accidentally splattered green into my yellow. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to grab for the lavender. I've got a hooker's green, which is really a lovely green. I've got long stalks here and just some delicate leaves on the end. And filling that up, we'll end up putting another layer of lavender after this dries. So we'll end up, okay, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Over here with this lavender as well, some gentle stems, little stalks with the petals. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now I'm going to have to let this dry and then we'll come back and do the rest of it together. Because I have a feeling if I don't, it'll get a bit messy. So bear with me. But we're going to finish up a little bit more of this. We're going to get most of it done right now and probably the next couple of minutes because we are really moving fast. And through this, again, just laying out this fun idea for a sketch. And maybe this is something fun to you can do of all of your the flowers that you're growing in your garden this year. That's a really fun way of just doing a light sketch. They don't have to look exactly like your flowers. And we're gonna make these long and leafy. You can see what happens if I don't let it dry, right? It can run the risk of bleeding into the yellow, which we're almost gonna do maybe some vines here, and we'll have some leaves coming out off the vines. That's just something a little bit different. And I might even add some other flowers. The more you paint and create and observe and you just find the more the ideas keep coming too, which is really a wonderful, happy side effect of creating and even creating quickly sometimes. There are sometimes when I take my time in making the paintings, but sometimes just doing a quick sketch and not spending too much time thinking about it. It's really helpful to get ideas to do different things. All right, and then our pink flowers here. Now these guys, we have some more robust leaves. It's nice to change up and notice the different kinds of leaves. And the pink is dry enough where it's not merging, and we definitely are gonna wanna add another layer. But letting that go. Now, what are we going to do with our Eiffel Tower? We're going to look at that too as I'm thinking about that Eiffel Tower as I also get the green out of my yellow. That was an unfortunate and not a happy accident. All right, so let's grab some yellow here for our sunflowers. And remember those distinguishing characteristics of our sunflowers, they point up at the top. They come in wider when they meet the sunflower face, and there's lots and lots of layers. Now, if your brown blends into the sunflower, not a big deal at all. Actually, it's, that adds to the kind of the beauty of the sunflower, all the merging colors. You can see too, I am not too bothered that my petals are going every which way and they're kind of crowding each other out as sunflowers do. So I am just moving that around. I'll come in just a little bit closer too so you can see that. You can see too how the whole painting is coming to life, right? Isn't that beautiful? It is just coming to life everywhere, and we're not using that many colors. We're being careful to use the same group of colors so as they all blend together, that it creates a really gorgeous, delicious, as one of my mentors used to say, palette for the eyes. I love the idea of a delicious palette. I think so often I am relating, interchanging food and art. There's lots of crossover. Okay, this is lovely, and you can notice too that sometimes the blue is showing through, we can take an orange. If you have a, or even a red orange, or mix some of your pink with your yellow and move it over, it'll cover up that blue a little bit more. Some watercolors are more transparent than others. And as you play with them, you discover which ones play together nicely with the other colors and which ones don't. Okay, isn't this fun? Look at that. Now we are going to add something fun that are going to remake our watercolors pop. If you think like, oh my goodness, it's just a mess of sunflowers right there. Well, a bit, but we're going to do something to make them pop. Now let's say you want to add 1 or 2 more. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Either I can make, I'm just going to leave them. We're going to have the stems. Let's actually add those stalks of the sunflowers in. I'm going to actually go around the table here. And that way my arm will not get in the way. And I'm going to go like this. Now sunflower stalks are thick. So make sure that that's a distinguishing characteristic of them. Make sure that these guys are thick. We won't see all of them coming down and thick. And then they even have the little, like these little doodads coming off the sides. They're not thorns like roses, but they're definitely just a characteristic of their stalk. Now I'm going to do one big sunflower leaf, and the sunflower leaves are thick, they're pointy at the edge. Maybe I'll do one more right over here. Again, they are big leaves. They are not delicate. They are robust and strong. Adding in some more paint to create that depth, that thickness. Now we can't see all of the stems going to the sunflowers because it's so thick in there, and that is just fine. If you want to maybe over here, for example, we'll put in one a little bit right here. But we know that they are there, right? Okay, now at this point too, if you've got green, you might want to add in some more green over here, just thickening things up. All right, let's go ahead and do a quick sketch on our Eiffel Tower. I think what I'm going to create for the Eiffel Tower on this one is I'm actually going to go over it in just a light yellow, really light there. I might come back in with a little bit of blue. And I could always come back with my micron pen if I wanted to. I'm gonna go there. I might just do a little bit of blue, for example, in here, and let that blue pull it up. But it's, again, it's in the background. It's not our main attraction for this painting. Okay, what I do want to do now though is I want to go ahead and then just quickly do our boxes, right? Create our lovely boxes. So we are almost on the 20-minute mark, and you guys know I like to keep these under 20 minutes, just a way to get us all practicing and playing with our paint. All right, I'm going to come right over here and make this one brown as well. Now these do not all need to be the same color. In fact, I think it would be fun. We don't have a lot of pink. We have the pink right here, but I didn't get any other pink. So let's create this one. The sunflower box is going to be a pink one. I'm just going to pull the color gently around and letting it sit, and then I'm even going to go back in here in between my purple flowers. I couldn't do this with all colors, but I can do this with the purple and get away with it. What I can also come back and do is after it dries, I can put another layer of purple and really make that lavender pop. So that's lovely. And I'm going to go ahead and just move this box all the way to the end and paint it over the masking tape like that. Isn't that fun? Okay, you guys, this is really, really cute. Now I am going to grab, since I have pink, I'm going to go back quickly. I'm going to add in some more pink here. I might grab a touch of purple even, put a bit of purple in there. That's going to make a more vivid pink. I like that a lot. Making sure not to touch my Eiffel Tower, which is rather wet right now. And we are just moving through quickly, adding the sketches, trying to keep it underneath 20 minutes, which we might be a bit over today. All right, I've got that. I've got a little bit more purple that I want to create right in here. And again, that extra layer is adding that depth, right? That's really where things start to pop when we start doing that second layer of paint, which is so, so beautiful. Now, purple is a beautiful color to complement yellow. So, but if you're thinking to yourself, my yellow might look a little bit, it's just not popping like I'd like it to, get a little bit of purple, mix it with your yellow, Mix a lot of yellow into it, and then start adding just a little bit on the bottoms of your flowers. That's going to create a shadowing. And if you want to add a little bit more, you could even take some more purple directly and add just in there. Just little spots. That'll actually give your flowers a bit more of a sassy personality too, almost like a little bit of a pansy. So we can let that go there. That's fun. Now I still have these colors in here, so maybe let's make, I'm going to take a really light pink and we're going to wash this behind. I'm going to be careful of all my flowers. I'm really doing a very light wash. And I'll probably, if I wanted to, I could come back with my micron pen and maybe add some more detail. I'm going to go ahead in here with my box here, and then on this box I will make this one brown too. We're not going to put a ton of brown. I'm going to wash it through in there just a little bit, create the edge, because my flowers are really going up and into it, right? We're going to take my green one more time. I'm going to move that right in here, so creating that thickness. If you want to even pull it across the way, that'll create that sense of thickness too, like that, and even over in here, and then just pull it up, 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 up. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, two things before we end. Grab some brown right in here. Go over in your sunflowers, their beautiful faces. You don't even have to do a circle, you could even do dots. And my paintbrush is a bit big for that, but see, that really all of a sudden brings you back to, there's my gorgeous sunflowers. You can certainly play and add some more color. Now I want to create that blue down there, that shadowing. Creating shadows always helps our paintings to pop. So create some shadows underneath where your barrels are, because at 10 o'clock in the morning we're going to have some shadowing, right? The sun's not all the way up. If that feels too much for you, not a big deal. Grab a bigger paintbrush with just water and then just pull it. Just pull it around, and then you're going to just let it dry. Lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. Okay, I really love this. Now, of course, you can always come back and add more detail if you want, but this is just a really fun sketch of Paris, a flower market. Look at those vivid colors. We did this in just 22 minutes. I just really think it's a lot of fun. It's very lovely. I'm going to add some more purple. You can let it dry, come back, add another layer of color. You can draw sketch and details with your pen over it. But what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful painting. Oh, I just absolutely, absolutely love it. Okay, guys, have a beautiful day, and I hope you keep painting in your beautiful flower gardens. I will see you soon.